The US has officially broken the ceasefire with Iran. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Techbot Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Friday. I'm here with a quick market update. As many of you guys have seen, NASDAQ market from where it opened at to where it actually closed at, relatively very flat, especially if you're invested in the market. If you traded the market, we definitely did see some range, right? A really sharp recovery, peaked, kind of retested if you click on the 5-minute time frame, the same range that we were testing yesterday, and then we got rejected once again. So not much movement. And again, it still seems like market sentiment is a little bit weak. Markets are willing to recover, but they're not sustaining those elevated levels. We'll see if that changes next week. Again, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, markets are still looking incredibly bullish with the higher highs, higher lows. If you look at it on the day chart, remember different time frames give you different perspectives. There still is no break of structure on the EMA line on the day chart. But again, patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to. That is what we will be looking for next week. Do we bounce off of this moving average and continue to return back to previous all-time highs and remain bullish? Or do we actually break the support and begin to get rejected? Remember, if overall markets begin to sell off, think about everything that's already down 50%. MSTR, Bitcoin, any speculative asset. Those are likely to drop even lower if NASDAQ and the S&P 500 begin to sell off. Something to pay very close attention to, and something we'll be covering in next week's live trading session. Again, like we talked about it, there were a series of updates that I wanted to make sure that you guys understood. The US just struck Iran for the first time since the MOU was signed. This was the agreement that was signed last week electronically by Trump. The strikes hit Iranian missile sites, drone storage, and radar after Iran attacked a ship exiting the Strait of Hormuz. This breaks the ceasefire. Now, again, as long as no one died and this doesn't continue to escalate, then markets don't really have a reason to continue to sell off. But if they do escalate, as again, Trump is notorious for starting attacks on Friday as soon as markets close, which is kind of what happened today. Because if you pay attention to the market, that's exactly when markets reacted to this unfortunate news. But as soon as Sunday, during overnight hours, once they begin to open, there's a peace deal that is signed. So again, if it's the same tone, then do not force something that isn't actually happening yet. If sentiment does begin to change, again, like I said, we'll talk about it next week. On top of that, President Trump is imposing a 100% tariff on all goods sent to the U.S. for any country that imposes a digital service tax on American companies. I actually don't hate this. Now, again, I am not a fan of when Trump just leverages tariffs for no reason. I think we can all agree on that. But this actually does make sense for any country that imposes a tax on us digitally. Again, it does hurt American companies because now consumers outside of America, if they have to pay for that tax, it's just kind of more of like an extra paywall or barrier, right? By removing that, it kind of levels out the playing field and hopefully boosts American business. Now, will this actually happen? We'll see. Just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware. You guys let me know down in the comment section what you think. With that being said, like we talked about it, markets did not move very much from where they opened at to where they closed at. But there was a lot of intraday volatility. Boy, did we have a good day. Today is a huge outlier of a day for me. This is not an average day. But again, if you're part of my LPP team, you know how successful it was. $28,000 on the day. Insane, right? From shorting it multiple times during today's live trading session to then going long, shorting it again, then going long, and then shorting it again, and then shorting it multiple times as it went back to same previous highs. Because if you actually look at it from where it opened to where it closed, flat. But with all the intraday volatility, again, the highs and the lows, being able to take profits, switch sides, we're able to do very, very well. Again, if you're part of my LPP team, I would really encourage you to go back and rewatch today's live session and even watch yesterday's live session. Even if you end up joining LPP today or over the weekend, you can go back and rewatch any live session. Watch today's, watch yesterday's. They've been great this week. This week has really hit it home for me. Now, what are we going to do next week? Well, next week, because overall NASDAQ market is testing a major support range, we got to be careful here. It would suck to open up a short position here and be aggressive thinking, no, markets have to sell off for markets just to aggressively begin to recover, right? We're waiting for confirmation. And that's going to be the biggest change that we're going to take on for this upcoming week is making sure we don't get ahead of ourselves before actual confirmation. There's nothing wrong with intraday plays, but carrying positions overnight is not going to make any sense. So again, alert set. We wait for either a break of support or a validation of support and then actual reversal back to previous highs. So possibly going long, possibly going short, all depending on how markets begin to trade on Monday. And again, I hope to see you there for our live trading session. In celebration of MicroStrategy, right? As many of you guys have seen, I forgot to tell you, I did make $600 on MicroStrategy today, but it's such a small position that I closed it out early and it's not much in comparison to my other trade that I didn't care to talk about it, but it lost another 3.5%. MicroStrategy is down 50% in just like the past month. It's down 74% in just this year alone, 84% from previous all-time highs of $543. Again, I want to remind you that Michael Saylor, again, all over social media, has told many people to take out a second mortgage and to sell your kidney to buy his stock and STRC. His stock is now down 78% in just the past year. This is the same guy that lost $6 billion in a day and was found for fraud in the dot-com crash. Yes, and now there is a class action lawsuit that is being opened up against him. Now, anyone can open up a class action lawsuit, but investors hate losing money, especially when you make empty promises, as Michael Saylor has made many times, right? You're telling me a guy who led a massive fraud in the dot-com boom potentially misled investors? Say it ain't so. Again, it's just the meme that I found on social media. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to one of our LPP traders making over $4,700 on the day. Again, daily live sessions every single morning, right at market open, in celebration of Michael Saylor and MSTR being down 50% in just the past month. We created a promo code, and that is going to be Saylor at checkout. Whenever it is that you're ready, it's going to be $300 off. So again, the second link in the description down below will take you to our homepage. Just make sure you type it in correctly, promo code Saylor. It ends tonight at midnight, $300 off, LPP 3.0. One-time payment, lifetime access. We have members that signed up back in 2018 that still watch me trade live today. And guess what? They don't have to pay again, right? We make it super simple. I offer nothing else. One-time payment, lifetime access, it's all included. Again, you can sign up right now, start the lesson library over the weekend, and as soon as markets open on Monday, you'll be able to tune on in live. So if you want to check it out to learn more, second link down below, promo code Saylor is valid until tonight at midnight. And again, if you have any questions, you can either comment down below or best, message me on Instagram. If you want to watch a previous live session, again, you can preview a live session right here or just send me a direct message via Instagram. If I've never sent you one before, I'll send you one of our recent live sessions so you can get a taste of what the LPP team experiences on a daily basis before you even decide to join our team. I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that we're in your thumbs up. Again, please consider subscribing. As you can tell, I'm not a big believer in MicroStrategy or Bitcoin, but if you were to ask me, which one of the two would I prefer to invest in? There is no question I would rather invest in Bitcoin than MicroStrategy. Why would I ever invest in MicroStrategy that all they do is dilute me, borrow against me, and buy Bitcoin? I would rather cut out the middleman and just buy Bitcoin itself. Again, in my opinion, Bitcoin is a speculative asset. The only people that make money are those that sell it and know how to take profits because of these 50 to 80% drawdowns. Michael Saylor is a perfect example of why dollar cost averaging does not work with speculative assets, as he is now down over $15 billion in an unrealized loss, which is the biggest Bitcoin loss ever in history, as he uses investors' money to buy Bitcoin. An absolute shame, because now it looks like he's going to be the fall guy and possibly what leads crypto to another big crash. So again, I'll make sure that I do my part in keeping you guys up to date. With that being said, just make sure you follow for updates. Hope that earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.